Hello, hackers. How are you doing? It's Sunday here. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to talk about why is lumber so expensive. I'm going to be making a pallet table. I found this pallet at my neighbor's house. They got something delivered. It was all oak, and I have some beautiful wood that I went ahead and removed all the nails and cut. I kind of whacked myself a couple times, but oh well. I'm gonna give you all the reasons why I think wood is expensive based on the research that I've done. I'm also gonna make this table that I pretty much got all the materials free except the casters, the wheels that are on the bottom. And so I got the butcher block for free, and then I got the pallet wood for free. So probably around $200 in lumber. I'm gonna explain why lumber right now is 380% higher than it was last year. So there's 4 legs. The legs are going to be going right under here. I used the straightest part. I literally used almost all of this pallet wood. It was from a very large pallet. The casters are going to go down in the bottom. I'm going to glue those, and then I'm going to drill the little holes. And then I'm going to have these casters down at the bottom so I can roll it around. I also like the look of these for $8 a piece. That was pretty cool look to have that. I like everything to roll. There is a center piece that's right here that I'm going to be putting. And that centerpiece, I'm going to drop it in 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to put together everything together with bolts. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is drilling the holes in each corner on the top. And I realize I'm going to have a total bolt going in at the top, these bolts right here. But I like that look to have that bolt exposed. It's kind of like a Bauhaus industrial look. And then I have the side pieces. These are what's going to be the braces that go all the way in the back. So there's going to be one at the top and then one at the bottom. And then one in the front. So there'll be one in the front, one of these long braces, and then there'll be one in the back and then one down below. And I'll just show you some clips of me building this while we're talking about the cost of lumber. All right, so lumber costs have skyrocketed ever since COVID had hit the entire world. But where's it going to go to next? How is it going to curb some of the building industry, the massive building that's going on? What does it mean for DIY people like myself that are building stuff at home? So there's something that's called future contracts. It's lumber future. So basically, you have a prediction of what it's going to cost to lock in a contract for the future. So around 2015, a per 1,000 feet of board, that's how lumber is measured. And this is the graph that I'm showing. Around 2015, it was $250 per 1,000 feet of board. Well, now that number is as high as $1,700. In fact, it's actually up 60% since last month. And it's up about 380% of what it was last year. And if you look at the graphs of the COVID data of cases and deaths, you can see that it's almost an identical type of rise or regression upwards when you look at the scaling of what COVID has impacted constrained mills. So basically, when COVID hit, it was constraining the mills. They were closing. We also had some other issues that were going on. So when you look at where it's going to be going, you have to look at some other factors that could potentially affected what the lumber cost is. So we have mills that are going out and getting lumber, but we also have a higher demand for 2 big reasons. First of all, everyone was locked inside their home, and the world will be continued to lock in quarantine in some capacity. But people were building what was close to them. So there was also a demand for a high sense of wood at the same exact time that the mills and stuff were constrained. So now that things are opening up and borders are opening up, but mainly the cost of fuel is down, so we can transport the lumber. chances are we will start to see a drop in these lumber, the cost per 1,000 feet of board. Hopefully we'll see something around maybe 1,000 within the next year. So from 2021 to 2022, we're not going to be anywhere near what we were at before because the demand is going to be higher. My personal beliefs in that. So what do you do if you're a DIYer or if you're building a home? Well, now's the time to buy an older home. That's my particular feeling. And then is whether or not you should wait for a big project or not. Well, as a DIYer, you're saving so much money by doing it yourself. I still think it's worth it to go ahead and get the actual project done and out of the way. Now, there's a lot of places you can buy reused lumber. Now, I find that taking apart lumber to be very difficult, especially on a larger scale of like building a home. You go through a lot of blades and you ruin a lot of blades by using the metal that's interfacing with the metal that's in the wood, like nails and screws and stuff like that. It's also highly dangerous. So talking about projectiles, so saw blades and stuff like that, everything has gone up in price. So when you damage your saw blade, then you're using reclaimed wood, you have to make sure you use the right tools for the reclaimed wood. So for DIYers, I would say use as much found wood as you can, but when you're cutoff saw, make sure that you have a metal blade. So on my cutoff saw, I have a metal blade so I can go right through those nails and with that carbide tip, and it won't matter. So I think that if we were to remove the tariffs on softwood lumber from Canada, that might provide some short-term relief. But the problem is due more to a consolidation of the building product industry after the aftermath of COVID. Because of the constraint of what COVID shutting down mills and building supplies, it may stay like that. So we may keep a higher cost per 1,000 foot of boards for the near term future. So I would say that for DIYers, I would say you're saving so much money by doing it yourself. Go ahead and make that table and make that project, but try to find as much reclaimed wood. I found a mill that's right here near Raleigh by the train tracks that offers a lot of free scrap wood. So if there's a mill there, chances are, like the cedar that I'm getting right here has live edge stuff on it. You're able to get that for free. Just try to be quiet and get in and out, because obviously they may close it down if they see a lot more people coming, and it might be a safety factor. So anything else that I'd like to add? I think that it's unlikely that we're going to see the lumber return to pre-pandemic pricing. The industry was in short capacity prior to the pandemic to become increasingly dependent on imports from Europe. That's changed. Domestic producers of lumber have been reoriented production to the South. So I think that it's not likely that we're going to get back to those values. So which means home values are definitely in the rise. So it was a good time to own a home, and it's a good time to get one on maybe in a foreclosure. So anyways, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this build. I'm certainly going to enjoy rolling this table into my electronics area that I'm making. I'm turning an old closet in that's next to the hack lab, and I'm making a place to make my switches. I've been selling a lot of my little micro waterproof switches online, and I need a little production area for that. So that's going well for me. I've switched from the skateboard lights over to the switches. But anyways, I got the table done, and that was a fun project. And now we know a little bit about lumber. So if you find it for free, use it. Whatever you do, make something that connects someone. Love you. Take care. Bye. So when I was growing up, a 2x4 was around 69 cents. And now a 2x4 is like $10. And it's probably one of the most go-to pieces of wood you can get, right? So now I find that taking apart lumber to be very difficult, especially on a larger scale of like building a home. you go through a lot of blades, and you ruin a lot of blades by using the metal interfacing with the metal that's in the wood, like nails and screws and stuff like that. It's also highly dangerous.